If you are looking into buying cheap and safe FIFA coins, look no further than footcoinshop.net. They have the fastest service, an incredible loyalty reward system, and the best prices around. Use my creator code Inception when you sign up for your account and get a 5% discount with your order. Hey guys, what's going on? Inception here, and welcome to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, with Trailblazers ending, might as well do the tier list today. Now guys, if you catch me watching at different monitors, I have the footbin here, the notes here, I have the OBS there, so I have to make sure things are recording and all that good stuff, right? But we are going to be getting into this tier list. We're going to see, who I personally think are the super high tier cards, who I think are not the high tier cards, so on and so forth, okay? So the first card that we're going to have here is going to be Marquinhos, who is easily going to be added into the S tier category. Now, the reason why Marquinhos is going to be added into the S tier category is because of the play styles that the card now has. This Marquinhos card has the Anticipate Plus playstyle for those possession-based challenges. He's got Jockey, he's got Aerial, he's got Power Header. So not only is he now a good defender at the back with Anticipate Plus, which is fantastic, right? Because he was good before on the rare golds, but Anticipate Plus is very, very nice. Power Header and Aerial for those near post corners is crazy, but even the manual defending with this card, because of the Jockey playstyle, is going to be significantly better now, right? So he definitely easily joins the S tier category. Would not put him at a tier lower. Fantastic card. Acosta, Fodder, we won't really look into that too much. The next card is going to be Rodrigo. Rodrigo, I'm going to leave at the A tier, and this could change according to what I personally believe, right? So Rodrigo was a card that was very, very 50-50 for people. Now, I mentioned to people in the player review during that time period that if you use this card correctly, he will do work for you, right? But, EA this year, they've been pricing the SBCs like crazy. It's just, what they've been doing, right? But Rodrigo, when used correctly, is a very solid card. He has very good position changes to work with in game. Even though he's a 4-star player for the price range that he's at, on a Hunter chemistry style, this card will actually do work for you. If you play a 4-2-3-1 system, or you play the new 4-4-1-1 that I showed you guys the other day, and you use a card like this in that cam position specifically, or on the right side, as long as you're using the right formation and tactics, you will cook, right? But if you're using like a regular 4-4-2, sometimes this card is just not really going to do it for you, right? But that 4-4-1-1 that I showed you guys, where it kind of forces certain movements out of the card, Rodrigo's going to do a very solid job, right? So even though the SBC was up there in price, he's going to join the A tier category. He's got first touch, dead ball, technical flair, quick step, a lot of very good traits to work with. Definitely joins that A tier in my opinion. Herrera is going to be Fodder. Hansen is an S tier card. Hansen is she cooks, man. I'm gonna tell you this right now, she cooks. And this was gonna be such an obvious thing because they gave her the illustrious Finesse Shot Plus on the card, right? Finesse Shot Plus, as you guys know, for this year's game, it will make your card, I'm not even joking, for some players, it will actually make your card go up 2 tiers because of you having that trait, right? But we already knew that Hansen was an absolute monster in game because she has a bunch of crazy play styles, right? Even before, when she just had Trickster Plus, like she was, I'm pretty sure it's Trickster Plus in the rare gold, right? Yeah, just Trickster Plus. This card was already nuts. Like, she's still expensive at 809. If she were to go out of packs, it would still be a very expensive card. She's an S tier, no doubt about it in my mind. If you can fit her in your team, which honestly is not too crazy hard because there's a bunch of Barcelona links that you can work with, to be fair, it would definitely be worth it. She's such an easy S tier, it's not even funny. Bellingham, similar situation as well. They gave him Technical Plus, which I'm going to tell you guys this right now. The pro players are foaming at the mouth for that Technical Plus on this card, because when I did his review, his Technical Plus is very, very good. But guys, generally speaking, what you have with a card like this is a very well-rounded midfielder, right? You have all the right things that you need. You have the skill moves, the weak foot, the high work rates, the high and average plus body type. You give him a shadow chemistry style. He's very well-rounded. It's just the type of card you kind of need with the way that this game generally plays out. 4-4-2, 4-2-3-1, 4-4-1-1, whatever formation you want to use, this card will actually be able to do work for you, right? So it's such an easy S tier, it's not even funny. Like, you look at the playstyle, finesse shot, technical, like, please. Bunch of crazy stuff, right? So such an easy S tier, not even funny. Foyth as an SBC, way too expensive. I mean, I'm going to add him into the C tier category, to be honest. I mean, as a center back, it's a little bit harsh, to be honest. as a center back, it's a little bit harsh because obviously with like the center backs would be like Marquinhos, an A tier would be like an Araujo, and then a B tier. I mean, it wouldn't be horrible to put him there, right, in the B tier, but we'll keep him at the C tier for now because I'll put him at the C tier because I just don't see a lot of people completing the card. He has very good playstyles, and those playstyles can be very noticeable in game, but like some of the cards you could just buy off the market in comparison to the price of the SBC, a little bit shaky, right? But you know, he has good animations, to be fair. Like, you can, if you guys want to watch the review, you can do so. That's going to be up. Alvarez. Okay, so for Alvarez, guys, another shaky situation in regards to the price of the card, okay, because of the types of players I'm going to put in certain positions. Now, people have to be very mindful of this. Anything that is B tier and above, I can guarantee people will use in the higher divisions, okay? So with that being said, for me, I'm going to put Alvarez at the B tier because I see another attacker there that I just would not compare the two together, okay? We're going to talk about this. So with this card, B tier category, I don't mind that for me personally. I prefer Rodrigo over him personally, but the Alvarez card is still pretty decent. Price was a little bit absurd on the card, of course, but if you guys use him in that specific way that I was mentioning to you guys during the player review, where, you know, you use him as a player in a 2-striker lineup, or you use him as a player playing as a right attacking mid, the card can actually do work for you, right? But again, you'll always have people that go to the comment section, oh, but he scored like 6 goals for me in 2 games. Sure, a lot of strikers can. I can go pick up Kolo Muani right now, put him on a Hunter chemistry style, and even in the higher divisions, he can do the same thing, right? That type of stuff doesn't matter. I hate when people bring that stuff up, right? For me, again, this is all personal opinion. I just prefer the Rodrigo card over him, so I'm going to put Alvarez in that area because I see another attacker here, and I'm going to shake it up a little bit, okay? The next one is Di Lorenzo. Guys, I'm in 2 minds. I'm in 2 minds to Di Lorenzo to put him at an S tier a little bit, okay? A little bit. The reason why I'm saying a little bit is because let's just take a look at Di Lorenzo's card. Look at how he's formatted, okay? So this card is a controlled player on a shadow chemistry style. So the shadow chemistry style puts his pace at a better area. Defensive capability is very good. He actually has good defensive animations, but he ain't no Ferland Mendy. So that's the only reason why I'm going to drop him down to an A tier, because when you're looking at a card like Ferland Mendy is just that guy. You know what I'm saying? Like that guy is just, he's just crazy. In the game, like I love Mendy so much that Theo, who's fantastic in this game, like literally amazing, I have to have Ferland Mendy in the team. I just had to, right? But as a fullback, Di Lorenzo is actually pretty solid. But there's certain things that make him formatted a little bit weird, specifically in the dribbling department, because it's very important to have fullbacks that could actually potentially help you out on the attack, right? So because you have those types of fullbacks, it's going to be very ideal to kind of work with that stuff for the most part, okay? Next up is going to be Griezmann. So with Griezmann, this is where I start putting cards in certain areas, right? Griezmann is an A tier category card. Okay, he's an A tier category card, but super high tier A tier. Okay, sorry guys, just wanted to change the letters of some of the names because it's kind of harsh to call like Alvarez a B. Like I wouldn't call him a B. Like an A, like I said, this and up are people will use in the higher divisions for sure, right? But yeah, so I think everything is okay so far for me personally. Again, this is just a list that I'm doing personally, right? Okay, so Ronaldo's card. So Ronaldo's card, guys, I don't mind adding him into the S, but this card, I'm gonna tell you this right now, it really depends on the person, because and for my personal opinion, mine, okay, I had to adapt to his playstyle when I was using the card, okay, because his attacking AI is a little bit different. The way that you get him involved is a little bit different. People who enjoy using physical type strikers will enjoy using Ronaldo in those areas because, you know, obviously he has a lot of the physical capabilities to win the ball in the air. He now has the Trivela on the card, you know, a couple of things to work with. For me personally, though, I'm not too crazy about Ronaldo this year, okay? But I have seen people do work with him, right? Even in the higher divisions, there have been people that do work with the card. I will say this, though. If you slap another face on this card with the same exact capabilities, it wouldn't be as expensive. I do have to mention that. I don't think it would be like a 1.1 million coin card personally. But again, because this is my list, personal opinion, I'm not crazy about him. So he's going to be S tier, but I'm going to put him at the end of the S tier, okay? Because for this year's game, you know, one of those ones in my opinion, okay? So we'll leave him there. The SAR card, honestly, SAR's not that bad. When I did his review, he actually surprised me a little bit because he's an R-Trigger merchant, and the R-Trigger merchants, they foam at the mouth for cards like that. But SAR was actually able to do work for me, right? I wouldn't compare him on the same level as Alvarez, you know, because they're two different types of cards. Like with SAR, he's an R-Trigger merchant. Alvarez, he plays better in those like close control type of areas, right? Even well, if you play a 4-4-2, it's still kind of close control in your build up with a striker, but it just depends on how you line it up, of course, right? But with SAR, he is a pretty solid R-Trigger merchant. If you guys watched the review, that was like the sweatiest review I've ever done in my entire life. And SAR was actually doing some work for me. Like it was very solid. Do I rate him on the level of attackers like Griezmann and Rodrigo on a personal level? No, I prefer those cards over SAR. But again, it just depends on what you want, because if you want the R-Trigger merchant, SAR is going to be a faster dude than Rodrigo in that area. Like he's just going to really blitz past people, especially with his physical, working with like, he doesn't necessarily, look, let me show you guys. So if I show you guys the SAR card, because to be fair, they could have made this card like really, really nice if they actually gave him some playstyles and stuff. But you can see that he doesn't have like technical and stuff, right? But base card stats similar to Diaby's situation, where it's like mid 90s area, and they already give him a bunch of the playstyles to make him fast, right? So rapid, quick step, all that stuff. But he has all that stuff while being tall, so his stride for the ball is a little bit longer to work with, right? So definitely very, very solid there as well. Next one, Julian Brandt. I'm sorry, I'm going to put Fodder. I mean, I'm not going to see that card being used ever. Gaia as a left back, I mean, I don't mind putting him as a B tier. I mean, I could still see Gaia being a Fodder card, to be honest with you. Like, how much does he currently cost? Let's see. 51k. So yeah, he's not necessarily Fodder. Because I'm going to be honest with you guys, I used a rare gold Gaia card, a rare gold version, and the card actually did okay for me in the draft, so I didn't really mind him too much, right? So a B tier is kind of like normal cards that can actually perform okay for you, right? That's what I would say for those types of dudes. But like a lot of these cards, I think were definitely B fodder for the most part. The Golovin card. Let me see the Golovin card here. So Golovin's card, 10.5k. I mean, it's definitely, I mean, he looks fodder. It's definitely not a card that has like significant upgrades, I would say. 4-star, 4-star, some defensive stats, doesn't have defensive awareness. A card like this, even if you were to give like a hunt or two, yeah, he's still kind of weird. I mean, you could technically use him as a center mid, maybe, but I'm going to be honest, I don't really see a card like that being used, right? So definitely fodder. Hirasi, even though he's an absolute monster IRL, definitely going to put him in the fodder area as well. Jordan Henderson, fodder as well. I think that, like, Jordan Henderson can definitely be usable a little bit. I mean, he definitely can be a little bit usable, I would say. Hirasi is, like, the physical is a little bit too much, I would say. Henderson, I don't mind the B tier. Like, normal, you know, like, for the most part. Anyways, Harry Kane's card. You know what? Kane, as a physical type striker, don't mind him at the S tier. Again, I do have to mention, very important to mention, I personally do not prefer these cards, okay? Personally. But I know that they're good. I've actually seen people use Kane in the higher divisions and do work with them. For me, you guys know I'm all about those quick little dribbling situations, all that kind of stuff. You know what? In the 4-4-1-1 formation, I'm going to tell you guys this right now. Using a card like Kane in the cam position, even though his dribbling is set up the way that it is, because of the instructions on that specific area, it would actually work out okay. Like, try out like a Harry Kane at cam with Son at striker. I think you can actually do a lot of work with that. So as a physical type striker, again, very key words that I'm mentioning because these guys are usually not my types of players, okay? I don't mind adding him into the S tier category, okay? Because of the fact that he's actually a pretty good physical type striker. Like I said, I've seen people in the top divisions actually do work with him because of the 5-star weak foot, the finishing being significantly higher. Never got to the point of reviewing him myself because motivation reasons, you know, but I've seen people do work with him. So it's definitely a card that I don't mind adding into the S tier category for the most part. The next card is Kubo. Kubo is A tier, but he's high tier A tier because I don't rate Kubo on the same level. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I liked Kubo a lot. I liked him personally. Kubo. Would I say he's an S tier card though? Debatable. Because like these guys are all good in their own ways. Rodrigo and Griezmann, I don't know, they just hit different for me, man. They hit different for me personally. I'm okay with the list so far. Like I said, a lot of these cards, I'll order them in regards to what I personally rate the most. Physical type strikers will always be at the end because they're just not my types of players personally. Yeah. Because guys, I'm telling you, Sarr is actually like pretty decent. He's not bad at all. I was really surprised by him. But definitely a card you have to use in a specific way, of course. Kubo, I do think Kubo is a little bit better for the meta of the gameplay over Sarr, right? So we're gonna put him higher, right? Because you could do a little argument here for the S a little bit, I would say, for a card like that. So yeah, Le Sommer, Fodder. Don't really have to talk about that too much. I mean, what else do we have here? Herrera, Brand, Girassi, like Henderson. If you do yeah, I would say so. I think that's okay. Mbappe, I mean, we don't have to talk about Mbappe, right? Like, do we need to expand on Mbappe? No, right? I don't think so. I don't think we have to expand on that. So that's like a pretty easy, like if we're doing a list, like that's at the end. And then there's like, well, the S tier, I don't really care too much about the order. I don't care too much about the order in the S tier. They're just guaranteed. Like if you don't like the S star tier cards, you're weird. Like that's what it comes down to, okay? Anyways, Palacios. Palacios with 73 pace on the lower side. I mean, you could technically put him at the B tier. I mean, you technically could. It's not like the card is completely horribly formatted, but this the pace and stuff, like B tier and lower guys, I'm kind of just like, I'm like, Rafael Leão. Rafael Leão is an easy S tier. S tier, in my opinion, over like those guys, just because of like, he's an S tier in this general area here. I would say like Leão is like top or bottom, like it, and the reason why I'm putting him so high up in the list is because he has the finesse shot plus now. Okay, so a card like this, his physical presence, everything is gonna be nuts. Okay, especially if you play that new 4-4-1-1 that we reviewed. Using a card like that in the side positions with that new playstyle is crazy, okay? Even though they got rid of Finesse Shot Plus on Griezmann's card, Griezmann is still amazing, right? So these three attackers, I like them a lot. Would I say a pro player at a competitive event would use Rafael Leão? I would be surprised. I would be surprised, right? A little bit. I would have a little bit of a surprise there. These ones definitely not. Ronaldo maybe for like a sub because he has like physical attributes and stuff to like win the ball in the air because of those like play styles, maybe, but like, I don't mind getting him in the S tier. It's still going to be an amazing card. Not a personal play style of mine, for instance, like just not personal play style of mine. Like I prefer like the Kubo card for me personally, not because he's better, because Rafael Leão will do way more work for you than Kubo. I'll tell you that for free in this meta right now. But you guys know how I play. I like the quickness and the left stick and stuff, right? So Kubo offers that a little bit more for me. But I know that Rafael Leão for the meta of the game is going to be kind of crazy, especially when you have the pace just taken off. You know what I'm saying? The pace is just going to take off on the card. Next up, we have the Robertson card. I mean, Robertson, I don't mind adding him into like an A tier. Like, what would I consider an S tier fullback? Because if Ferland Mendy is like an S star tier. Let's see here. Robertson. 190k for Robertson. I mean, to be fair, they didn't really poorly format him that badly, right? On a shadow chemistry style, he is going to offer you some physical stuff here and there. He's got a good work rate, unique body type, 5'10", sloppier card. Tough to say. Maybe I'd put him at the, yeah, I don't mind the A tier to be more on the safe side, because I can actually see Robertson being used in the higher divisions if they need the links in their team with the Liverpool players. I could totally see that being done. Di Lorenzo, I feel like he's a little bit slightly improved. You could do an argument there. There's a debate here. I'm not like super concrete on that. If it was like Ferland Mendy, like just thumps these guys, right? But yeah, I'm not like too against like doing that a little bit. But Di Lorenzo's actually pretty nice for this game, not too bad at all. But again, build up is a little bit different. Robertson's the same in regards to that, right? So Definitely have to be mindful of that. Simmons, I'm gonna put Simmons at A. I mean, I don't mind him at the A. I'm gonna put him at the A, but at the end of the A, like really, really far at the end of the A. I didn't like the price of the SBC. First of all, 150k is a little bit disgusting for him. They didn't even give him, what was it? They didn't give him a weak foot at the very least. Let me see. For Simmons, Javi Simmons. Yeah, no weak foot. This SBC was stupid, okay? Because they should have given him at least a weak foot, something along the lines of that. For the SBC price, the dislikes fully warranted on the card, especially since you can get Musiala on the market for like 15k. I don't mind adding him into the A tier because, like I said, I could see decent players using him, getting the links and all that kind of stuff. Don't mind putting him there, but he is going to be on the lower side, right? So I would say the cutoff for the A tier category, people always go to the comment section, they just go to the end of the video and just look at the whole tier list, but the cutoff is like right here, I would say. Or right here, because Sar is, again, an R-trigger merchant, right? So Simmons, again, people can use that card. He'll be okay, but they should have done a better job with him. People are going to come into the comments and be like, I scored 1 million goals with Simmons in 4 games. As if you can't do it with other cards, right? But Simmons, I'm going to add him into the A tier. It's not just the price of the SBC, it's in-game quality too. Because with Musiala, R1 is good. Sure, you feel the physical on the left stick, but you do the same thing with Simmons, but you have a 5-star skiller with a 4-star weak foot on Musiala. So it's a little bit crazy, especially since the links are German, Bayern Munich, Bundesliga, like a lot of crazy stuff to work with there. Smith, adding Smith in the S tier easily, without a shadow of a doubt. Dudes, there is like an American setup with the women. I think it's like Alex Morgan. I think it's Swanson too. I never checked out the Swanson card. Is this Swanson, this card as well? With the 5-star weak foot? I mean, like, dude, so cheap on this card. You know what it is, man? I mention this to people all the time, but with the women, for the attackers, they juice the cards a little bit more. And the reason being for this is because of body types, right? So I always tell you guys in previous years, whenever your card usually has like a lean body type, or like a good unique body type, like that's usually insane, right? If you go to the Smith card and we take a look at what she has, right? This card with relentless, technical, flair, first touch, trickster, quick step, she is genuinely really good in game. Why? Because she's 5'5", short and lean minus. That's basically like using a pro clubs character, because honestly, having a 5-star weak foot in this game is kind of crazy, especially for a card like this that you can provide the Hawk chemistry style to, right? So Smith is definitely one of those like crazier options. Like, again, it's with the women, the way that they boosted them because of the body types and stuff, right? Alex Morgan, similar situation, right? Doesn't have the balance, but guess what? She's 5'6", and it doesn't say her body type here, not available. But again, with the women, they do that sort of thing to them where they're like shorter, they're more lean, so they're quicker. The way that they move into space is quicker as well. So with Smith, definitely don't mind adding her into the S tier category. She's very good, right? She's very good. Son, similar situation. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, bro. If you gave me Son as the player of the month card, the Sun Player of the Month is such an easy S-star tier card, in my opinion. Like, here's the thing, right? I wouldn't say he's like a guaranteed person in a pro player team. I would put him in the S-star tier, but at the very end, okay? I'd put him at the very end, because he's not going to be on the level of these 4, right? In regards to, like, I can guarantee you that a pro player is going to use his card, right? It's kind of like similar to Rafael Leao in that sense, right? Where it's like you have, like, these good cards. They did take out the Finesse Shot Plus on the card, which I'm going to be honest is a pretty big deal, but the card is still pretty good in game. Like, it's a very, very solid card regardless. If you packed him, like, good for you, honestly. I seen a guy do the Player of the Month SBC and then packed the tradable version of Sun. Like, good for you, bro. Just sell that card. You basically did Sun for free. Like, super happy for you, honestly. I'm not like the rest of the community where they're like, oh, I can't believe he did this. But yeah, Sun is still very good. They did change his play styles, as I mentioned earlier. So if you actually check out the card here, right, he no longer has the Finesse Shot Plus, but he still has the regular version. And honestly, it still works out okay. He still performs really well in game, has the right position changes. So if you pack him, he's still going to be a pretty decent card as well. That's Fodder. Ward-Prowse, I mean, I don't mind putting him a little bit higher, but like, we got to be realistic, probably a Fodder card as well. for the most part. I mean, he probably has dead ball plus, which would be absolutely nuts. Wilson, I'll be nice and add him into the B tier as well. People won't continue to use this card, but B tier category, I can see like the super lower divisions using the card maybe. Cancelo, I think I don't mind adding him into the A tier, S tier category, that general area. Again, with the fullbacks, I'm like very like, I'm like this with them personally. I mean, with fullbacks, I don't mind doing this, honestly, putting them in the S tier. Like, I wouldn't say that they're like super high, but they're pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Like, they are pretty good, I would say. Cancelo is a little bit weird, a tiny bit, because they did. I don't think it was like a change work rate. Did they change his work rate? No, it's the same thing. I think high-low work rates. Informed card, I'm pretty sure it's like the same as well. So yeah, high-low work rates. But the card does perform really well in game. The reason being for this is because, as I've mentioned many times, a lot of the times you use fullbacks, if they have good attacking capabilities, it is very, very helpful. So because he has dribbling stats, his unique body type works a certain way with his 6-foot height, you give him a shadow chemistry style. The main thing that he misses is physical presence. Again, not on the level of someone like Ferland Mendy. I think Ferland Mendy is an absolute monster, but I don't mind adding the fullbacks in that area, right? Like, they're still very, very solid. Danilo, I don't mind putting him at the B tier. I mean, let me see with this card. Yeah, B tier. I don't mind B tier. I'm not going to see him too much, but if people need the links in their team, like, I could see them putting him in the squad. Definitely going to be on the higher tier, I would say, as well, of the B. Dante, probably Fodder. Evander, Fodder. I don't know what this card is like. Caroline Nicoli, I don't know what she's like, so I'll put her at the B tier. You know, Koundé, honestly, I'm not like. I'm going to be honest with you guys, man. Because of the links and the way that he performs in game, I don't mind adding him into the S star tier. It's a good center back card, man. Like, it's a really nice card. I personally like him. And here's the thing about Koundé, as I've mentioned, right? Whether or not like pro players would actually use the card and all that kind of stuff. If you go to his play styles, right? He has bruiser, he has jockey. So again, like, manually defending, moving left and right is very, very important. He's got slide tackle, jockey, bruiser, quick step, relentless. This card, sure, he does have like a weird work rate at a high, but Koundé does actually perform really well in game. He would be a combination of an S and an S star. A very huge thing that's really carrying this card into the S star tier, but in my opinion, like at the end of the list, because again, I think Hansen, Bellingham, Marquinhos, and Mbappe are undisputed, is because the links are pretty crazy to work with, right? But it's crazy links to work with for a center back that is pretty solid in game. That's the situation with him, right? Porta, Fodder, Mitoma. I'm gonna put Mitoma at the A, definitely over Simmons. Yeah, definitely over Simmons. Simmons at the end for sure. Mitoma, I'm gonna tell you guys this right now. When I did his review, he actually kind of surprised me a little bit. For anybody that is a technical dribbler person, Mitoma will actually do work for you. I'm telling you, if you like to use the technical dribbling, Mitoma is actually pretty decent, right? Simmons is like on the fringes here, like at the end, you know, with the types of players here, like him and Sarr, I would say, for the most part, because, you know, but Mitoma actually surprised me a lot. The only thing that's weird about that card is that, again, strangely formatted, right? If you take a look at the card in game on a Hunter chemistry style, he actually went up because people realizes that his technical is really crazy to work with. But on a Hunter chemistry style, it's just the shot power consistency that's a little bit weird. But listen, man, use a card like this over on that right-hand side, even though he has the finesse shot trait, right? Use him on the right-hand side. And it's a card that actually performs really well in game. I'm being dead serious. Medium, like even if you use like a 4-2-3-1 or something, his technical is very, very solid in game. It almost felt like he had his own unique animations. I'm not even joking when I say that. Like, if you guys watched the review for the card, I was like shocked. I'm like, dude, his technical is like kind of crazy. But yeah, not too bad there. Mkhitaryan might be decent, but I mean, I'm gonna put him at the B tier. I don't think I'm ever gonna see that card. Declan Rice, don't mind adding him into the S tier as well, especially as a CDM. I will say, if a Chouamani drops, he's thumping Declan Rice because those playstyles is really, really crazy to work with. But I don't mind adding Declan Rice into the S tier category. It's a very solid CDM. The SBC was it was a good SBC in my opinion. I think he's definitely a very solid card to use in that CDM position. And he also provides you some pretty sick link ups to work with in your squad. But yeah, Declan Rice was nice. I told you guys on the SBC, it was a very solid SBC. I think the price was okay for what he offers in game. It was definitely very, very solid. Who else do we have here? Ruben Diaz. We'll put Ruben Diaz at... I'll put him at the A, but at the end of the A, okay? I'm going to put Ruben Diaz at the end of the A, and the reason being for this is because of his pace, but he has very good defensive animations. As you guys know in this game, bro, if someone activates a technical dribbling against you, or they're in the side positions and you need the pace to catch up, that pace will be a huge nuisance. However, if you use a formation like a 3-back or a 5-back formation and he's playing straight down the middle, the card actually could be pretty decent for you. But again, there's going to be a lot of situations where the pace is going to be a little bit of a nuisance on the card to work with, okay? Next up is Salah. I don't mind adding Salah into the S tier. Salah is still a very solid card. The thing about Salah, right, is that, so I'll show you guys this right now. And I'm gonna show you guys this, okay? It's very important to mention. So people look at this card, playstyle pluses. He has technical, finesse shot, chip shot, tiki-taka, rapid, and trivela. In my genuine opinion, okay, because I used this card already in like a 4-4-2 and I was using him on the left-hand side, working with that Trivela. I like him a lot over on the left-hand side more than the right-hand side, or, very key thing here, or in the cam position, okay? In the cam position, he's going to perform well. A card like this, for me personally, I wouldn't want to use him over on the right-hand side. You can use him on the right-hand side for sure, but because he has that weak foot, no chance, bro. Because if I have him on the left-hand side and I get him on his left foot, he does like some sort of like cut inside animation, he is going to have that Trivela that will contextually activate in a lot of goal scoring situations, right? So for me, Salah definitely joins the S tier category, probably around this general area here, I would say, because he matches my playstyle. Again, if I were to use that 4-4-1-1, he's my left mid. Or if I were to use like a 4-2-3-1, wouldn't mind him in the left attacking mid position or in the cam position. I think he'd play both of those roles really well. Yeah. What else we got here? So we got this guy. I don't even know who he is. This is Fodder. Trap. I don't mind adding Trap into like an A tier, B tier category. The reason why like A tier is not bad is because I would basically say that Courtois is an S star for sure. I think S-star tier goalkeepers would probably be like Courtois, Donnarumma. I've seen Alisson be really crazy, but I'm gonna put Trap in the B. I don't think a lot of people are gonna care too much about that card. Would I say he's a B tier card in game? I mean, that's a little bit debatable. I would say he wasn't too bad to use, especially if you're building like some sort of Bundesliga team. So I didn't mind him too much. He's definitely gonna be helpful for the future with the Bundesliga SBC reviews, but you know. Fodder, we're gonna put Fodder for Vera here. Iago Aspas, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, Iago Aspas is like a combination of an S and an A tier. The main reason why I'm saying this is because this card is really carried by the finesse shot plus and the fact that his attacking AI is pretty decent, because he is a strangely formatted card, because it feels like you want to give him a hunter chemistry style, but sometimes the balance is a little bit annoying to work with, right? Like when I have someone like Griezmann, like I don't really notice the dribbling on the card because his dribbling is actually very nice. So sometimes when I'm using Aspas, like that part is a little bit annoying. But here's the thing, okay? As an SBC, because he has finesse shot plus, which is such a huge meta mechanic to work with, that's what's going to really carry him into the S tier category. If he did not have finesse shot plus and he only just had a regular finesse, I wouldn't mind adding him into the mid tier A category. But S tier, lower side, right? Not in comparison to some of the cards up top, like meta wise. Like I think a lot of these guys up top are going to be better options to work with. But that finesse shot plus is really going to carry him into the higher tier categories, right? But yeah. What else we got here? And then we have Mahrez. I think Mahrez is like an A tier. I think Mahrez will be an A tier if you use them in a certain way, right? Because Mahrez has always been the type of card where you have to use him in a certain way for you to fully utilize him. He's going to be a card that most people link in their teams because of the Saudi League stuff, right? 5-star skills, 4-star weak foot, hunter chemistry style. This is a card that, in my opinion, you would have to strictly use as a cam in your team, right? So it's a card that I don't mind adding into the A tier category. I do not rate him on the same level as some of the guys here up top, right? So now that I'm really looking into this list here, I would say a couple of changes could definitely be made. Maybe, let's see. So we have Robertson fullbacks. I mean, the fullbacks are not bad, to be honest. Iago Aspas S tier. Alvarez, a good card. Expensive SBC. I prefer Rodrigo personally, attacker-wise, like Smith and stuff too. Kubo is actually really nice. Fan favorite over here, so I would debate even putting him a little bit higher as well, because I actually really like that card. Like I said, guys, the A tier category cars, I would say, for those of you that are watching the end of the video, please, hopefully you are, because people always just go to the end and be like, what kind of tier list is this every single time? But what I will say is that the cutoff would be around this general area, so these guys and above, basically, right? But attackers wise, like if you look at Iago Aspas, like I won't rate him on the same level as like a Griezmann, even with the Trivela, because Griezmann's like movement is just so like, and he's dribbling is just so nice, and Trivela is still good. It's not as good as a finesse shot plus, but I need that general experience, right? That left stick and stuff is really crazy to work with, so that's why we put him on a little bit on the lower side here. Over here, I don't mind adding like Cancelo there. These guys are physical type players, so they're not my fan favorite, but I know that they're good in game, one of those types of situations for sure. And then yeah, Smith and stuff, these guys are like, Smith is like really good. Again, the body type situation, really massive for the female players, because you know, a lot of the players that I tend to like the most are always the players that have like certain body types, right? Like if I go to Griezmann's card and I search what he looks like, Griezmann, and I go to his, just the rare gold card, like this card alone is 118k for a reason, but he has a unique body type, right? His unique body type is really nuts to work with. I think one of the only few cards that like I'm going to sacrifice a little bit of a physical feel in the card just because of how he generally performs is the Heung-min Son card, right? Like even the rare gold card does work for me. I'm not even joking. Like the rare gold card is still in one of my, like he's in my other main team that we actually climbed division rivals with. Like I got him as an untradeable, which is pretty sick. But you know, he has low bounce, low agility, but his unique body type I think is the thing that's like really carrying him with the finesse shot plus rapid quick step. Like it's a very, very solid card. That's why when the player of the month came out and it was like, I think it was like 600 or 700k when that thing came out, I was telling you guys, like, guys, this card's pretty crazy. Like even one of the top comments in that video is a guy literally saying, it's really funny when Inception just knows the card is good within the first 2 games and he just cooks with it afterwards. Like that's literally what we did with him. He's such a good card in game. But yeah, to be honest with you guys, I'm okay with this tier list. I know that people always go to the end and they don't hear the explanations as to why I put players in certain positions and whatnot. But yeah, I don't mind it. I think it's pretty decent. Again, in the A tier category, I think the cutoff would be around this area here. So it'd be like here or here and above. I can pretty much guarantee that a lot of people would actually use those cards in the higher divisions for sure. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video today. I will catch you guys for the next video. I do apologize if I missed out on any cards. I just went to Football and I searched all the Trailblazers available, and Aspas was part of the promo, so we added him in there as well. But yeah, anything A tier and above you will definitely see for sure. It's definitely going to be a thing. Maybe a little bit on the lower side here. But yeah, I'm okay with this. Anyways, thanks for watching the video, guys. I'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace out, dudes. Love you guys.